Welcome, dear listeners, to tonight's bedtime story. As you settle into the comfort of your bed, let your mind drift into a world where secrets are hidden beneath the moonlight and mysteries unfold in the quiet of the night. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to relax as we journey to the small town of Havenwood, where a young boy named Alex begins to uncover the truth about who he really is. Let the soft lull of the tale guide you into a peaceful sleep, and may your dreams be filled with moonlit forests and gentle whispers of the night. Chapter 1. The Hidden Heritage. The twilight sky painted the horizon with hues of lavender and gold, casting long shadows over the small town of Havenwood. Alex stood by his window, gazing out at the familiar streets that now seemed strange and distant. He had always felt at home here, but recently something had changed. It started with the strange dreams, vivid and wild, filled with forests and moonlight. He would wake up drenched in sweat, his heart racing, unable to shake the feeling of being hunted. It wasn't just the dreams. During the day, Alex found himself more attuned to his surroundings. He could hear the soft rustle of leaves from the trees in the schoolyard, and the distant hum of a lawnmower 2 blocks away. His sense of smell had become almost unbearably acute, and the cafeteria's overpowering mix of scents made it hard to focus on his lunch. He even started to notice his classmates' emotions through subtle shifts in their body language and scent. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing a hidden layer of reality. One afternoon, while walking home from school, Alex felt a sudden, inexplicable urge to run. Not just run, but sprint. As if something inside him needed to be unleashed. He set his backpack down and took off along the sidewalk, his feet pounding the pavement. The wind whipped through his hair, and for the first time in weeks, he felt free. When he finally stopped, he was several blocks from home, his chest heaving but exhilarated. The distance he had covered in such a short time stunned him. Was this all in his head? Or was something truly changing inside him? That evening, Alex's mother called him for dinner. He sat at the table, pushing his food around his plate. He didn't want to worry his parents, but he couldn't ignore what was happening to him. His mother's voice broke through his thoughts. "Alex, are you feeling all right? You've been so distant lately." "I'm fine, Mom," he replied, forcing a smile. "Just a lot on my mind with school and everything." His father looked up from his newspaper, peering at Alex over the rim of his glasses. "If something's bothering you, son, you can always talk to us." Alex nodded, but inside, he was wrestling with whether to share his fears. How could he explain something he didn't fully understand himself? The changes were becoming harder to hide, and he needed answers. The following night, the full moon cast an eerie glow over Havenwood. Alex lay in bed, unable to sleep. His body felt restless, his skin prickling with anticipation. He got up and paced the room, trying to calm the turmoil within him. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his limbs, and he collapsed to the floor, gasping. His vision blurred, and his senses went into overdrive. Every sound, every smell was amplified to an unbearable degree. Just as he thought he couldn't endure it any longer, the pain subsided, leaving him trembling but strangely invigorated. He stumbled to the mirror, half expecting to see a monster staring back at him. Instead, he saw himself, but with a fierce, wild look in his eyes that hadn't been there before. He felt a new strength coursing through his veins, a raw power he couldn't comprehend. As he stood there, trying to process what had just happened, a soft knock at his window startled him. He turned to see Luna, the new girl at school, standing outside. Her eyes seemed to pierce through the darkness, and Alex felt an immediate connection, as if she held the answers he desperately sought. Without thinking, he opened the window and let her in. "Alex," she said, her voice calm and reassuring. "I know what you're going through. You're not alone." He stared at her, a mix of relief and confusion flooding his mind. "What do you mean? What's happening to me?" Luna smiled softly, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. "You're changing, Alex, and I'm here to help you understand what you truly are." The days following Luna's revelation were a blur for Alex. The full moon loomed large in the sky, and with each passing night, the changes in his body and senses grew more pronounced. He could hear the faintest whispers from across the schoolyard, smell the individual scents of each student, and his vision seemed to pierce through the darkest shadows. It was overwhelming, but the worst part was the strange pull he felt towards the moon, an insistent call that he could not ignore. Luna became a constant presence in his life. She seemed to understand his struggle better than anyone else, and provided the guidance he desperately needed. She taught him to control his new senses, showing him how to focus and filter out the overwhelming stimuli. But despite her help, the fear of what was happening to him lingered. "Why is this happening to me?" Alex asked one evening as they walked through the woods on the edge of town. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting an otherworldly glow on the forest floor. Luna paused, turning to face him. "You're special, Alex. You have the blood of werewolves in your veins. It's a heritage that comes with great power, but also great responsibility." Alex shook his head, frustration and fear mingling in his heart. But why now? Why all of a sudden? She sighed, looking up at the full moon. The pull of the moon awakens the wolf within us. As you reach a certain age, the changes begin. It's part of who you are. The realization hit Alex like a tidal wave. This wasn't just a phase or a temporary condition. It was his identity, his heritage. He felt a mix of awe and dread, knowing that his life would never be the same again. The full moon night arrived with an air of inevitability. Alex felt a strange mix of excitement and fear. He couldn't ignore the primal call any longer. Luna had warned him that the first full transformation would be the most intense and painful, and she stayed by his side, offering her support. As the moon rose high in the sky, Alex's body began to change. The pain was excruciating, his bones and muscles contorting in unnatural ways. He felt his humanity slipping away, replaced by the wild instincts of the wolf. His senses sharpened to an almost unbearable level, and he could hear the heartbeats of animals in the forest, smell the rich scent of the earth and the sharp tang of the pine trees. Luna watched him with calm determination, her own eyes reflecting the moonlight. Focus, Alex. Remember who you are. You are in control. The words anchored him, giving him something to hold on to amidst the chaos. Slowly the pain subsided, and Alex found himself standing on 4 powerful legs, his body covered in thick fur. The world looked different, more vibrant and alive. He could sense the heartbeat of the forest, feel the pulse of the earth beneath his paws. Luna, now in her wolf form, approached him. Welcome to our world, Alex. This is who you are. For the first time, Alex felt a strange sense of belonging. Despite the fear and pain, he knew he was not alone. He had found a part of himself that had been hidden for so long, and with Luna's guidance, he began to understand the true nature of his heritage. But the journey was far from over. The hunter's arrival in Havenwood threatened everything. Alex and Luna had to be cautious, hiding their true nature while they figured out how to protect their community. The hunter was relentless, and Alex knew that he had to learn quickly if he wanted to keep his loved ones safe. The days following Alex's first transformation were filled with a mixture of awe and uncertainty. Luna remained a steadfast ally, guiding him through the complexities of his new identity. They spent hours in the forest, practicing control and understanding the extent of his abilities. Alex's senses became sharper, his reflexes quicker, and his bond with Luna grew stronger. Yet, the looming threat of the hunter cast a shadow over their progress. One afternoon, as they walked through the dense woods, Luna decided it was time for Alex to learn more about their world. There are others like us, Alex. You're not alone in this. There are packs, and each one has its own history and rules. Alex listened intently, absorbing every word. How many of us are there? And why haven't I met anyone else? Luna glanced at him, her expression thoughtful. We stay hidden for our safety. There are hunters out there, like the one who recently came to town. They've been after us for centuries. But we also hide to protect the humans. Some of us can't control our transformations as well as others. As they walked, they reached a clearing where a small cabin stood. Luna led Alex inside, where a middle-aged woman with piercing green eyes greeted them. Alex, this is Elder Maya. She's the leader of our pack, and has a lot of wisdom to share. Elder Maya smiled warmly, her presence radiating calm and strength. Welcome, Alex. I've heard much about you. It's not every day we welcome a new member to our family. Alex felt a wave of relief. Thank you. I have so many questions, and I feel so lost. Maya nodded. That's understandable. You're at the beginning of a long journey, but you're not alone. We're here to help you. They spent hours talking, and Alex learned about the history of the werewolves, their struggles, and the rules they lived by to maintain balance between their human and wolf sides. Elder Maya's stories were captivating, filled with legends and ancient wisdom. He felt a sense of belonging, knowing he was part of something larger than himself. As the evening drew near, Alex and Luna headed back to town. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest. They walked in silence, each lost in their thoughts. Alex felt a newfound determination to embrace his heritage and protect those he cared about. The next day at school, Alex noticed a new student. He was tall, with an athletic build and sharp features. There was something about him that set off alarm bells in Alex's mind. The new student's eyes seemed to constantly scan the room, and his movements were too calculated. Alex could sense danger. During lunch, Alex and Luna sat together, discussing what they had learned from Elder Maya. Alex's gaze kept drifting towards the new student. Who do you think he is? There's something off about him. Luna followed his gaze and frowned. I don't know, but we need to be careful. He could be connected to the hunter. Later that day, as Alex was leaving school, the new student approached him. Hey, Alex, right? I'm Jason. Just moved here. Alex forced a smile, his instincts on high alert. Yeah, nice to meet you. Where did you move from? Jason's eyes flickered with a hint of something Alex couldn't quite place. Oh, just a few towns over. My family moves around a lot. As they talked, Alex felt a strange pressure in the back of his mind, as if Jason was probing for information. He decided to keep his answers vague, not wanting to reveal too much. When Jason finally walked away, Alex felt a chill run down his spine. That evening, Alex met with Luna and Elder Maya in the forest. There's a new student at school, Jason. I think he might be connected to the hunter, Alex said. Elder Maya's expression grew serious. We need to find out more about him. Be cautious, Alex. Trust your instincts and don't let your guard down. Alex nodded, determination hardening his resolve. He knew the coming days would be challenging, but with Luna and the pack by his side, he was ready to face whatever threats lay ahead. The air was thick with tension as Alex sat at the dinner table, his mind swirling with questions and half-formed suspicions. The conversation with Jason had unsettled him, but what troubled him more was the sense that his parents knew more than they were letting on. Luna's words echoed in his mind. There's more to your family history than you realize. That night, Unable to contain his curiosity any longer, Alex decided to confront his parents. He found them in the living room, his mother reading a book and his father watching the news. Clearing his throat, Alex stepped forward, his heart pounding. "Mum, Dad, I need to talk to you about something important." His parents exchanged worried glances before his mother set her book aside and gestured for him to sit. "What is it, Alex?" she asked gently. Taking a deep breath, Alex began. "I've been experiencing some changes lately. Strange things are happening to me, and I think it has something to do with our family. I need to know the truth." His parents' faces went pale. His father turned off the television, and his mother took his hand. Her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and sorrow. "Alex, there's something we've been meaning to tell you," she began softly. His father continued, his voice steady but grave. "Our family carries a unique heritage. We are descendants of werewolves." Alex felt a rush of emotions, relief at having his suspicions confirmed, anger at having been kept in the dark, and fear of what this meant for his future. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" he demanded. His mother sighed, her grip on his hand tightening. "We wanted to protect you, Alex. We hoped that if we kept it from you, you might lead a normal life, free from the dangers that come with this legacy." "But why now?" Alex pressed. "Why am I changing now?" His father explained. "The werewolf bloodline awakens at a certain age, usually around your teenage years. The full moon intensifies the transformation. We knew this day would come, but we hoped to prepare you better." Alex's mind raced. "So, what do I do now? There's a hunter in town, and a new student at school who seems suspicious. How do I protect myself and everyone else?" His mother's eyes filled with tears. "We'll help you, Alex. We know an elder from the local pack who can guide you. It's Maya. She's wise and has helped many young werewolves like you." Alex nodded, feeling a strange sense of empowerment despite the overwhelming revelations. "I've already met her, and Luna too. They've been helping me understand what's happening." His parents looked surprised but relieved. "Luna is a good ally. Trust her, and trust Maya's guidance," his father said. With a newfound sense of purpose, Alex resolved to embrace his heritage and protect his loved ones. That night, as he lay in bed, he felt a deep connection to the moon and the legacy that flowed through his veins. The road ahead was uncertain, but he knew he wasn't alone. The following days were a whirlwind of training and learning. Elder Maya taught Alex about the ancient rituals and the history of the werewolves. Luna helped him refine his senses and control his transformations. Alex's parents shared stories of their own experiences, revealing the depth of their knowledge and the strength of their love. But even as Alex grew stronger and more confident, the threat of the hunter and the mysterious Jason loomed large. He knew they were getting closer to uncovering the truth about his identity. One evening, Luna brought disturbing news. "Alex, I've been keeping an eye on Jason. He's definitely not who he says he is. We need to be very careful." Alex's heart sank. What do we do? Luna's eyes were resolute. We need to find out who he's working for and what their plan is. We must protect the pack and our families at all costs. The stakes were higher than ever, but Alex felt ready. With Luna and his family by his side, he was determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The night of the full moon arrived with an almost tangible tension in the air. Alex could feel the pull of the moon deep in his bones, a primal call that he could no longer resist. He stood at the edge of the forest with Luna, the moonlight casting an ethereal glow on the landscape. Luna turned to him, her eyes reflecting the silvery light. "Are you ready, Alex? This is going to be painful, but you have to trust the process. Focus on your breathing and remember that you are in control." Alex nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. He had been preparing for this moment, but the fear of the unknown gnawed at him. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. As the moon reached its zenith, Alex felt a searing pain course through his body. He dropped to his knees, gasping as his muscles contorted and his bones shifted. The agony was unlike anything he had ever experienced, but amidst the pain, there was a sense of awakening, a primal energy surging through him. Luna knelt beside him, her voice steady and soothing. "You can do this, Alex. Embrace the change. Let it flow through you." With her words as his anchor, Alex focused on his breathing, trying to ride the waves of pain. Slowly, the agony began to subside, replaced by a sensation of raw power. He could feel his senses sharpening, his body transforming. His vision became more acute, colors and shapes taking on a new clarity. His hearing and smell intensified, revealing a world teeming with life and activity. When the pain finally ebbed away, Alex found himself standing on all fours, his body covered in thick, dark fur. He looked down at his paws, feeling a mix of awe and trepidation. He had fully transformed into a werewolf. Luna, also in her wolf form, approached him, her eyes filled with pride and encouragement. "You did it, Alex. Welcome to your true self." The forest around them seemed to pulse with energy, the sounds of nocturnal creatures filling the air. Alex took a tentative step, feeling the power in his limbs. He could sense every movement, every heartbeat in the vicinity. It was overwhelming, but also exhilarating. Luna led him deeper into the woods, teaching him how to harness his new abilities. They ran together, their movements fluid and graceful. Alex felt a sense of freedom he had never known, a connection to the natural world that was both grounding and liberating. As the night wore on, Alex gradually became more comfortable in his new form. He learned to control his heightened senses, to move silently through the underbrush, and to communicate with Luna through subtle gestures and sounds. The bond between them deepened, forged through shared experiences and mutual understanding. When the first light of dawn began to filter through the trees, Luna guided Alex back to the clearing. The transformation back to his human form was less painful, but left him exhausted. He collapsed onto the soft grass, his body trembling from the exertion. Luna, now also back in her human form, sat beside him. "You did well, Alex. The first transformation is always the hardest, but you handled it with strength and resilience." Alex managed a weak smile. "Thank you, Luna. I couldn't have done it without you." She squeezed his hand, her expression serious. "The journey ahead won't be easy. The hunter is still out there, and we need to be vigilant. But remember, you're not alone. We'll face whatever comes together." As they walked back to town, Alex felt a new sense of purpose. He was no longer just a teenager grappling with strange changes. He was a werewolf, part of an ancient lineage with a duty to protect his loved ones and his community. The challenges ahead were daunting, but with Luna and his newfound strength, he felt ready to confront them. The peaceful days following Alex's first transformation were short-lived. The presence of the mysterious hunter grew increasingly palpable in Havenwood. Whispers of strange sightings and ominous figures began to circulate, and the atmosphere in the town grew tense. Alex and Luna remained vigilant, aware that their every move could be watched. They continued their training in secret, honing Alex's abilities and preparing for the inevitable confrontation. One evening, as they practiced in the forest, Luna spoke in hushed tones. "Alex, we need to be extra careful. The hunter's getting closer. We can't afford any mistakes." Alex nodded, his senses on high alert. "I've been feeling it too. There's something different about this hunter. Something dangerous." That night, as Alex returned home, he found his parents waiting for him, their faces etched with worry. "We need to talk, Alex," his father said, his voice grave. They sat around the kitchen table, the weight of unspoken fears hanging heavy in the air. "We've heard rumors," his mother began, "that the hunter is looking for someone specific. We believe he's after you." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "But why me? There are other werewolves in town. Why would he target me?" His father sighed. "You're still new to this, Alex. Your transformations are less controlled, and your scent is more noticeable. It makes you an easier target." The realization hit Alex hard. His inexperience was putting not just himself, but everyone around him in danger. "What do we do?" he asked, his voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. His mother reached out, placing a comforting hand on his. "We'll protect you, Alex. We have friends in the pack, and we've faced hunters before. But you need to stay alert and trust your instincts." The days that followed were a blur of tension and preparation. The pack mobilized, setting up a network of lookouts and safe houses. Elder Maya took charge, her experience and wisdom guiding them through the crisis. She met with Alex and Luna in the forest one evening, her expression serious. "The hunter is closing in," she said, her voice steady. "We need to be ready for anything. Alex, your strength and resilience will be crucial in the coming days. Trust in yourself and in your training." Alex felt a surge of determination. He had come a long way since discovering his heritage, and he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "I won't let you down," he promised. One night, as the full moon approached once more, Alex was awakened by a sudden noise. He sprang out of bed, his senses tingling with danger. The sound of footsteps outside his window sent a jolt of fear through him. He glanced out and saw a shadowy figure moving stealthily through the yard. Heart pounding, Alex quickly dressed and slipped out the back door, following the figure at a safe distance. The moonlight illuminated the stranger's path, revealing a tall, lean man with a predatory grace. Alex's instincts screamed at him to stay hidden, but he needed to know who this hunter was. The man stopped suddenly, his head turning as if sensing Alex's presence. Alex froze, his breath caught in his throat. The hunter's eyes gleamed in the darkness, sharp and calculating. "I know you're there," he said, his voice a chilling whisper. "Come out and face me, Wolf." Fear and anger surged through Alex. He stepped forward, revealing himself. "Why are you here?" he demanded, trying to keep his voice steady. The hunter smiled, a cold, menacing grin. "I'm here for you, Alex. You have something I need." Alex's mind raced. "What do you mean?" "Your bloodline," the hunter replied. "It carries a power that I seek. Surrender now, and maybe I'll let the others live." Alex's heart pounded. He knew he couldn't trust this man, but he also knew he couldn't take him on alone. He needed help. "You'll never get what you want," he said defiantly. "We'll stop you." The hunter's smile faded. "We'll see about that," he said, turning and disappearing into the shadows. Alex knew this was just the beginning. The hunter was a formidable foe, but with the pack and Luna by his side, he was determined to protect his family and his community. The fight was far from over, but Alex was ready to face it. The tension in Havenwood was palpable as the full moon drew closer. Alex and Luna had been training tirelessly, but the threat of the hunter loomed large. Elder Maya called a meeting of the pack in a secluded part of the forest, away from prying eyes and ears. As the pack gathered under the canopy of ancient trees, the air was thick with anticipation. Elder Maya stood before them, her presence commanding and reassuring. "We face a great danger," she began, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of wisdom. "But we are not powerless. Our ancestors forged a pact to protect our kind, a pact that has been honored for generations." Alex listened intently, his heart pounding. He had come to respect Elder Maya deeply, and her words held a promise of hope. "What is this pact?" he asked, stepping forward. Elder Maya's eyes met his, filled with a fierce determination. Long ago, when the first werewolves emerged, they were hunted mercilessly by those who feared them. To survive, they made a pact with the spirits of the forest. In exchange for their protection, we vowed to safeguard the balance between the human and the wild. Luna nodded, her expression serious. "This pact has kept us safe for centuries, but it requires unity and strength." Alex felt a surge of resolve. "I want to help. Tell me what I need to do." Elder Maya smiled, a glimmer of pride in her eyes. "You have the heart of a true protector, Alex. The pact is sealed through a ritual. We will call upon the spirits and renew our vow to protect our kind and our territory." As the moon rose higher, casting its silver light over the forest, the pack gathered in a circle. Elder Maya led the ritual, her voice rising in an ancient chant that echoed through the trees. The air crackled with energy, and Alex felt a powerful connection to the land and his ancestors. One by one, the pack members joined the chant, their voices weaving together in a harmonious chorus. Alex felt the energy build, a protective shield forming around them. The spirits of the forest seemed to respond, their presence a comforting force. Elder Maya motioned for Alex to step into the center of the circle. "You are our newest member, Alex. It is your time to make the vow." Taking a deep breath, Alex closed his eyes and spoke the words that came from deep within his soul. "I vow to protect my family, my pack, and the balance of our world. I will honor our heritage and stand against those who seek to harm us." As he finished, the energy in the circle surged, enveloping him in a warm, protective embrace. The pact was renewed, and Alex felt a profound sense of belonging and purpose. He was no longer just a teenager grappling with his identity. He was a protector, part of an ancient lineage. The ritual concluded, and the pack dispersed, each member infused with renewed strength and determination. Elder Maya approached Alex, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You have done well, Alex. The spirits have accepted your vow. Remember, you are never alone. We stand together." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Elder Maya. I won't let you down." As he and Luna made their way back to town, the bond between them stronger than ever, Alex knew that the challenges ahead would be formidable. But with the pack by his side and the ancient pact to guide him, he was ready to face whatever came their way. The night was still and serene, the forest a sanctuary of strength and unity. Alex felt a new sense of peace, knowing that he had embraced his heritage and his role as a protector. The hunter might be closing in, but Alex was no longer afraid. He was ready to defend his loved ones, no matter the cost. The journey was far from over. But Alex had found his place in the world. The pact of protection was more than just words. It was a promise, a legacy, and a beacon of hope. And with that promise, Alex was ready to face the future with courage and determination. Chapter 2. The Battle. Within, the morning sun broke through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. Alex stood in the clearing, his breath steady as he focused on the task at hand. Luna circled him, her eyes sharp and watchful. "Remember, Alex," she said, her voice carrying a mix of encouragement and authority. "Control is key. You must master your emotions to control your transformations." Alex nodded, his muscles tensing in anticipation. The full moon had awakened his inner wolf, but mastering its power required discipline and practice. He took a deep breath, feeling the energy within him stir. "Focus on your breathing," Luna continued. "Feel the power, but don't let it overwhelm you." With each inhale, Alex felt a surge of strength. He closed his eyes, envisioning the wolf within him. The transformation was no longer painful, but it was still challenging. He could feel his muscles shifting, his senses sharpening. The world around him became more vivid, every sound and scent amplified. Slowly, Alex opened his eyes, now seeing the world through the keen vision of a wolf. Luna smiled, her own transformation complete. "Well done, Alex. You're getting better at this." They practiced for hours, honing their skills. Luna taught Alex how to use his heightened senses to track and navigate the forest. He learned to move silently, to blend into the shadows. His strength and agility improved, and he felt more confident in his abilities. In the afternoons, Elder Maya joined them, sharing her vast knowledge of werewolf history and lore. She spoke of ancient battles and the wisdom of their ancestors. Alex soaked up the stories, understanding that his struggle was part of a larger legacy. One day, as they sat by a babbling brook, Elder Maya shared a particularly poignant tale. "Long ago, our kind faced a great peril," she began. "Hunters, much like the one who now threatens us, sought to eradicate werewolves. But our ancestors stood strong, united by their bond and their vow to protect each other." Alex listened intently, the weight of the past settling on his shoulders. "How did they survive?" he asked. Elder Maya's eyes sparkled with pride. Through unity and courage, they learned to control their transformations, to harness their strength. They trusted each other and the spirits of the forest, and they never lost hope. The story resonated deeply with Alex. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a connection to those who had come before him. He realized that his strength was not just physical, it was also rooted in his bond with the pack and his determination to protect those he loved. As the days turned into weeks, Alex's training intensified. He was still out there. Each night, he patrolled the edges of Havenwood, his senses alert for any sign of danger. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Alex and Luna stood on a hill overlooking the town. The lights of Havenwood twinkled in the distance, a reminder of the people they were protecting. "Do you ever get tired of it?" Alex asked, his voice quiet. "The constant vigilance, the fear of being hunted." Luna shook her head, her gaze steady. "No, because I know what we're fighting for. Our family, our every sacrifice. Strength." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "You're right. We can do this." As they descended the hill, Alex felt a new resolve. He was no longer the frightened teenager who had first discovered his heritage. He was a protector, a warrior. And with Luna and the pack by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The hunter's threat was real, but Alex had found his strength within. He knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but he also knew that he was not alone. Together, they would stand against the darkness and protect the ones they loved. Under the canopy of ancient trees, the werewolf pack gathered around a roaring bonfire. The flames danced, casting flickering shadows that seemed to come alive in the night. Alex sat with Luna and Elder Maya, surrounded by the pack members who had become his extended family. Tonight was special. It was a night of storytelling and wisdom sharing, a tradition that had been passed down through generations. Elder Maya stood at the center, her presence commanding attention. Her voice, rich and resonant, carried the weight of countless tales. "Tonight, we honor the wisdom of our ancestors," she began, her eyes scanning the circle. "We remember their courage, their sacrifices, and their triumphs. Each story holds a lesson, a piece of our shared history that guides us." Alex listened intently as Elder Maya began to recount the tale of the great hunt. It was a time when werewolves were hunted to the brink of extinction, and only the strongest and wisest survived. The story was filled with danger and heroism, with moments of despair and hope. "Our ancestors faced hunters more ruthless than any we've seen," Elder Maya continued. "They learned to use their environment, to turn their weaknesses into strengths. They forged alliances with other creatures of the forest and created sanctuaries where they could live and thrive." As she spoke, Alex felt a deep connection to the past. He could almost see the faces of those ancient warriors, their eyes filled with the same determination that burned within him. He understood that their legacy was his to uphold, that their struggles were not so different from his own. Luna nudged him gently, her expression encouraging. "It's important to remember where we come from," she whispered. "Our history gives us strength." The stories continued, each one a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the werewolf pack. There were tales of cunning escapes, of battles fought under the full moon, and of unlikely friendships formed in times of need. Each story carried a lesson, a piece of wisdom that had been passed down through the ages. One story in particular resonated with Alex. It was about a young werewolf named Eirik, who had faced a powerful hunter on his own. Eirik was clever and resourceful, using his wits and his connection to the forest to outsmart the hunter. In the end, he had not only saved himself, but also protected his pack. The lesson here, Elder Maya said, her gaze locking onto Alex's, is that we must use all the tools at our disposal, our strength, our intelligence, our unity. We are not alone in this fight, and together we are formidable. Alex nodded, feeling a surge of determination. The wisdom of the pack was a treasure, a source of strength that he could draw upon in the days ahead. He realized that his journey was part of a larger tapestry, woven with the threads of countless lives and experiences. As the night wore on, the stories gave way to discussions and planning. The pack strategized on how to protect Havenwood from the hunter's encroaching threat. Elder Maya and the other elders shared tactics, emphasizing the importance of vigilance and solidarity. "We will set up watch points around the town," Elder Maya instructed. "Everyone must be alert. We cannot afford to be caught off guard." Alex volunteered for the night patrols, eager to contribute and protect his community. Luna joined him, her presence a reassuring constant. Together they walked the perimeter of the town, their senses attuned to every sound and movement. The nights were long and filled with tension, but Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The wisdom of the pack was a guiding light, illuminating the path forward. He knew that the hunter was a formidable foe, but with the strength of his pack and the lessons of their ancestors, he felt ready to face whatever came their way. As the first light of dawn broke over Havenwood, Alex stood on a hill overlooking the town. The stories of the past echoed in his mind, a reminder of the resilience and courage that flowed through his veins. He was not just a werewolf, he was a protector, a guardian of his heritage and his home. The following weeks were marked by a tense calm, the kind that precedes a storm. Alex, Luna, and the pack kept vigilant, their senses attuned to any sign of the hunter. Despite their efforts, the hunter remained elusive, a shadow lurking at the edges of their awareness. One crisp autumn evening, as Alex returned home from his patrol, he noticed something off. The door to his house was ajar, and a strange scent lingered in the air. His heart raced as he approached cautiously, every muscle tensed for action. Inside, the house was eerily quiet. Alex moved through the rooms, calling out for his parents. There was no response. As he entered the kitchen, he found a note pinned to the table with a silver dagger. The sight sent a chill down his spine. The note read, "Come to the old mill at midnight, alone, if you want to see your parents again." Alex's hands trembled as he read the message. The hunter had taken his parents. Panic threatened to overwhelm him, but he forced himself to stay calm. He couldn't afford to lose control now. He needed to think, to plan. Luna arrived a few minutes later, her face pale with worry. "Alex, what's going on?" He handed her the note, his jaw clenched. "The hunter has my parents. He wants me to meet him at the old mill, alone." Luna's eyes widened with fear and anger. "It's a trap, Alex. You can't go alone." "I have to," Alex replied, his voice steady but filled with determination. "I won't let him hurt my family." Luna placed a hand on his arm, her gaze fierce. "Then we'll be there too. The pack can stay hidden, ready to strike if things go wrong. You don't have to face this alone." Relief washed over Alex. "Thank you, Luna. We need to be smart about this." They quickly devised a plan. Alex would go to the mill as instructed, while Luna and the pack would position themselves nearby, ready to intervene if necessary. Elder Maya provided additional guidance. Her experience invaluable in crafting a strategy that balanced caution with readiness. As midnight approached, Alex made his way to the old mill on the outskirts of town. The structure loomed in the darkness, its decrepit walls casting long shadows in the moonlight. Alex's heart pounded, but he steeled himself, determined to save his parents. He entered the mill, the air thick with dust and the scent of decay. In the dim light, he saw his parents tied to chairs in the center of the room. The hunter stood beside them, a smug smile on his face. "Ah, Alex," the hunter greeted, his voice dripping with malice. "Right on time." Alex's eyes blazed with anger. "Let them go." The hunter chuckled. "Oh, I will, once you give me what I want." "And what's that?" Alex demanded, his body coiled with tension. "Your blood," the hunter replied. "Your lineage carries a power I've been searching for. Submit to me, and I'll let them live." Alex's mind raced. He couldn't trust the hunter's word, but he had to bide time for Luna and the pack to act. "And if I refuse?" The hunter's smile vanished, replaced by a cold, deadly stare. "Then they die." At that moment, Luna and the pack sprang into action. From the shadows, they moved with silent precision, surrounding the mill. Alex felt a surge of hope as he sensed their presence. "I won't let you hurt them," Alex said, his voice steady. "And I won't submit to you." The hunter's eyes narrowed. "So be it." With a swift motion, the hunter drew a silver knife, but before he could strike, Luna leaped at him, her transformation swift and powerful. The pack followed, a blur of fur and fangs. Chaos erupted as they engaged the hunter, their movements synchronized and deadly. Alex rushed to his parents, quickly untying them. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. "We're fine," his father replied, his voice shaky but strong. "Just get us out of here." As they made their escape, Alex glanced back to see Luna and the pack overpowering the hunter. The fight was intense, but their unity and strength were undeniable. Outside, under the light of the full moon, Alex's parents embraced him, relief and gratitude in their eyes. "Thank you, Alex," his mother whispered, tears streaming down her face. "You saved us." Alex held them tightly, the reality of the night's events sinking in. He had faced the hunter's trap and emerged victorious. But the battle was far from over. The hunter was still a threat, and they needed to remain vigilant. But for now, in the safety of his family's embrace, Alex allowed himself a moment of peace. They had survived the night, and with the pack's wisdom and strength, they would be ready for whatever came next. The aftermath of the encounter at the old mill left Alex both relieved and unsettled. The pack had managed to drive off the hunter, but the danger was far from over. The hunter's parting words echoed in Alex's mind, a constant reminder that their struggle was ongoing. The pack regrouped in the forest, the air thick with tension. Elder Maya addressed them, her voice calm but firm. "We did well tonight, but we must remain vigilant. The hunter will return, and we need to be prepared." Alex felt a surge of determination. He had faced the hunter and protected his family, but he knew that more challenges lay ahead. As they dispersed, Luna approached him, her eyes filled with concern. "How are you holding up?" she asked gently. "I'm fine," Alex replied, though he knew that wasn't entirely true. "I just can't shake the feeling that this isn't over." Luna nodded. "It's not. But we're in this together, Alex. We'll face whatever comes." In the days that followed, Alex's loyalty to the pack was put to the test. One afternoon, while patrolling the outskirts of Havenwood, he encountered a group of townspeople gathered around a poster. He pushed through the crowd, his heart sinking as he saw the notice. A bounty for the capture of any werewolf, dead or alive. Panic surged through him. The hunter was rallying the townspeople against them, turning neighbors into enemies. Alex knew that the pack's safety depended on secrecy and unity. But this new development threatened to unravel everything. That night, as the pack met in their hidden clearing, Alex shared the news. Elder Maya's expression grew grave. "The hunter is trying to isolate us, to turn the town against us. We must be careful." Alex's mind raced. What can we do? We can't just hide forever. Elder Maya placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We will find a way. For now, we must be cautious and protect each other." The situation escalated when Alex received a frantic call from his friend Mark. "Alex, you need to come to the school. There's something you need to see." Alex rushed to the school, his heart pounding. He found Mark in the library, his face pale. "What's going on?" Alex asked. Mark handed him a flyer, his voice trembling. "They're organizing a hunt. They think there are werewolves in town and they're planning to track them down." Alex felt a wave of anger and fear. The hunter's influence was spreading, and now his friends were in danger. "We have to stop this," he said, his voice determined. Mark nodded. "But how?" "They're convinced that werewolves are a threat." As Alex pondered their next move, he knew he had to protect his loved ones without revealing his secret. The balance was delicate, and one wrong move could expose the entire pack. The night of the planned hunt, Alex found himself torn between loyalty to his pack and the need to protect his human friends. He and Luna devised a plan to mislead the hunters, leading them away from the pack's territory. It was a risky move, but it was the only way to ensure everyone's safety. As the hunters gathered, armed with torches and weapons, Alex and Luna moved stealthily through the forest. They created false trails, using their heightened senses to stay one step ahead. The tension was palpable, but their bond and trust in each other kept them focused. At the climax of the night, Alex found himself face to face with the hunter. The man's eyes gleamed with a predatory intensity. "You can't protect them forever," he sneered. "Your kind will fall." Alex stood his ground, his heart pounding. "Not while I'm here," he replied, his voice steady. The standoff was intense, but the pack's strategy worked. The hunters were led away, the search proving fruitless. As dawn broke, Alex and Luna regrouped with the pack, exhausted but triumphant. Elder Maya's eyes shone with pride. "You've proven your loyalty and bravery, Alex. We stand stronger together." Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had protected his loved ones, both human and werewolf, and upheld the values of the pack. The road ahead was still fraught with danger, but he knew that with unity and determination, they could face whatever came their way. The full moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the forest. The air was thick with tension as Alex and Luna made their way through the trees, their senses on high alert. Tonight was the night of the final confrontation. They had tracked the hunter to a clearing deep in the heart of the forest, and now there was no turning back. Alex's heart pounded in his chest as they approached the clearing. He could see the hunter standing in the center, a menacing figure silhouetted against the moonlight. The hunter's eyes gleamed with a predatory intensity, and Alex knew that this was a fight for survival. "Luna, stay close," Alex whispered, his voice steady but tense. "We need to be smart about this." Luna nodded, her eyes never leaving the hunter. "We've got this, Alex, together." As they stepped into the clearing, the hunter turned to face them, a cruel smile playing on his lips. "I knew you'd come," he said, his voice dripping with malice. "You can't hide from me forever." Alex squared his shoulders, drawing on the strength and wisdom of his pack. "We're not hiding," he replied. "This ends tonight." The hunter laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the trees. "So be it." In an instant, the hunter lunged at Alex, his movements swift and deadly. Alex braced himself, his senses heightened by the power of the full moon. He could feel the transformation begin, his muscles rippling and his senses sharpening. The pain of the change was intense, but he embraced it, letting the power of the wolf flow through him. Luna was beside him in a flash, her own transformation seamless and graceful. Together, they faced the hunter, their movements synchronized and precise. The battle was fierce, the clearing filled with the sounds of growls and snarls, of claws against flesh and the crack of bones. Alex fought with everything he had, his loyalty to his pack and his family driving him forward. He could feel the hunter's strength, but he also sensed his desperation. The hunter was powerful, but he was alone, and Alex had the strength of his pack behind him. In a moment of clarity, Alex saw an opening. He lunged at the hunter, his claws slashing through the air. The hunter tried to dodge, but Alex was too fast. His claws connected, and the hunter staggered back, blood flowing from a deep wound. "You're finished," Alex growled, his voice a low, rumbling threat. The hunter's eyes widened with fear and anger. "This isn't over," he hissed. But Alex knew that it was. With a final, powerful strike, he brought the hunter to the ground. The hunter lay there, defeated, his breath coming in ragged gasps. As the hunter lay dying, Alex felt a surge of triumph and relief. The threat was over, but the cost had been high. He turned to Luna, who stood by his side, her eyes filled with pride and determination. "We did it," she said softly, her voice filled with emotion. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the battle lift from his shoulders. "We did. Together." As the first light of dawn began to break over the horizon, Alex and Luna stood in the clearing, their bodies returning to their human forms. The forest was silent, the danger finally past. Alex felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that he had protected his loved ones and upheld the values of his pack. They made their way back to the pack's territory, where Elder Maya and the other members awaited them. The relief and pride in their eyes was evident, and Alex felt a profound sense of belonging. "You have proven yourself, Alex," Elder Maya said, her voice filled with warmth. "You are a true protector, and we are proud to call you one of our own." Alex felt a swell of emotion. He had faced his greatest challenge and emerged victorious, not just for himself, but for his family and his pack. The journey had been long and difficult, but he had found his place in the world. As they gathered in the light of the new day, Alex knew that their fight was not over. There would always be challenges and dangers, but with his pack by his side, he was ready to face whatever came their way. The battle with the hunter had left Alex physically exhausted, but spiritually renewed. The days following the confrontation were filled with a quiet sense of triumph. The pack began to rebuild and reinforce their bonds, knowing that they had survived one of their greatest threats. But for Alex, The journey was not yet complete. He had embraced his role as a protector, but there was one final step to fully accepting his werewolf identity. Elder Maya called a special gathering in the heart of the forest. The pack assembled around a sacred grove, where ancient trees stood as silent witnesses to countless generations of werewolves. The air was thick with anticipation, and the soft murmur of the pack members created a hum of energy. "Tonight we gather to honor Alex's journey," Elder Maya announced, her voice carrying a sense of reverence. "He has shown great courage and loyalty. Now it is time for him to fully embrace his werewolf identity." Alex stood in the center of the grove, the moonlight filtering through the canopy above, casting a silvery glow on the scene. He felt a mix of nerves and excitement, knowing that this moment was crucial in his journey. Luna stood by his side, her presence a comforting anchor. Elder Maya approached him, holding a ceremonial bowl filled with a shimmering liquid. "This is the elixir of transformation," she explained. "It is made from the sacred herbs of our forest, and it will help you connect fully with your werewolf spirit." Alex took the bowl with trembling hands, looking into its depths. The liquid seemed to glow with an inner light, a reflection of the power it held. With a deep breath, he drank the elixir, feeling its warmth spread through his body. As the elixir took effect, Alex felt a profound shift within him. The boundaries between his human and werewolf sides began to blur, merging into a harmonious whole. He closed his eyes, embracing the transformation with a sense of acceptance and peace. The pain of the change was different this time, less intense and more like a natural unfolding. He felt his senses heighten, his muscles strengthen, and his spirit soar. When he opened his eyes, he saw the world with a new clarity, the colors more vibrant, the sounds more distinct. Elder Maya smiled, her eyes filled with pride. "Welcome, Alex, to your true self." The pack erupted in a chorus of howls, their voices lifting to the sky in celebration. Alex joined them, his voice blending with theirs in a powerful symphony. He felt a deep connection to the land, to the pack, and to his own inner strength. As the celebration continued, Alex moved through the crowd, feeling the warmth and acceptance of his fellow werewolves. He had faced his fears, overcome immense challenges, and now stood fully in his power. The final transformation was not just a physical change, but a spiritual awakening. Luna approached him, her eyes shining with pride and affection. "You did it, Alex. You've embraced who you are." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "I couldn't have done it without you, Luna. You've been my guide, my friend, and my anchor." She took his hand, and they stood together, watching the pack celebrate. The journey had been long and arduous, but they had come through stronger and more united. Alex knew that there would always be challenges, but with his pack and Luna by his side, He felt ready to face anything. As the night deepened, the pack gathered around a great bonfire, sharing stories and laughter. Alex felt a sense of belonging that he had never known before. He had found his place in the world, and it was here, among his family and friends, that he truly belonged. The final transformation had marked the end of one journey and the beginning of another. Alex was no longer just a teenager or a werewolf. He was a protector, a leader, and a beacon of hope. And with the strength of his pack, he knew that the future held endless possibilities. With the final confrontation behind them and the hunter defeated, the town of Havenwood slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy. The pack, though vigilant, began to focus on rebuilding and strengthening their community. Alex found himself at the center of these efforts, his role as protector and leader solidified by his actions and the wisdom he had gained. The morning air was crisp as Alex walked through the forest, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the ground. He felt a deep connection to the land, each step resonating with the harmony of his dual nature. He had come to appreciate the balance between his human and werewolf sides, finding peace in the unity of his identity. As he approached the clearing where the pack often gathered, he saw Luna waiting for him. Her presence, as always, brought a sense of calm and strength. "Good morning," she greeted, her smile warm and genuine. "Morning, Luna," Alex replied, his heart lifting at the sight of her. "How are things?" She nodded. "The pack is doing well. The younger ones are training hard, inspired by what you've accomplished. And the elders are sharing their wisdom, ensuring that our traditions and knowledge are passed down." Alex felt a swell of pride. "That's good to hear. We need to be prepared for anything." Luna's expression turned serious. "We faced a great challenge, but the world is always changing. We must remain united and vigilant." He agreed, knowing that their unity was their greatest strength. "I'm planning to visit Elder Maya today. She mentioned wanting to discuss some ideas for strengthening our defenses." Together, they walked to Elder Maya's home, nestled at the base of an ancient oak. The elder greeted them with a knowing smile, her eyes twinkling with the wisdom of ages. "Welcome, Alex, Luna. Come, sit with me." They settled around a small fire, the crackling flames providing warmth and a sense of intimacy. Elder Maya began, her voice soft but firm. "We have achieved much, but our journey is far from over. The threat of hunters will always loom, and we must be ever ready to defend our home." Alex listened intently as she outlined her plans for improving their defenses, including creating safe havens and establishing stronger communication networks within the pack. Luna added her insights, suggesting ways to incorporate their unique abilities into their strategies. The discussion was invigorating, filling Alex with a sense of purpose. They were not merely reacting to threats, they were proactively ensuring their future. As the meeting concluded, Elder Maya placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "You have grown into a fine leader, Alex. Your journey has just begun, but you have already shown great promise." Alex felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Elder Maya. I will do everything I can to protect and lead our pack." As the days turned into weeks, the pack thrived under Alex's leadership. They trained, shared knowledge, and forged stronger bonds. The sense of community and purpose was palpable, and Alex felt a profound sense of fulfillment. One evening, as the sun set and the forest was bathed in a golden glow, Alex stood with Luna on a hill overlooking Havenwood. The town below was a picture of tranquility, the lights twinkling like stars. "We've come a long way," Luna said softly, her gaze on the horizon. "Yes, we have," Alex replied, taking her hand in his. "And we'll continue to move forward together." The future was bright with promise. Alex had embraced his identity and found his place in the world. He was not just a werewolf or a protector. He was a symbol of hope and resilience. With his pack by his side and the strength of his heritage guiding him, he knew they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. As night fell, Alex felt a sense of peace settle over him. He had found his new beginning, and with it, a profound understanding of who he was meant to be. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had also been filled with moments of growth, love, and triumph. And in those moments, Alex had discovered the true strength within himself and the enduring power of unity.